As determined as the robbers can be, often they drown themselves deep into an inescapable jeopardy. Stick around to witness robbers who messed with the wrong traps. Number 1. Trashed robber. A robber who, while cracking a safe, unknowingly triggered a silent alarm. Police officers from Huron, Ohio, arrived on the scene where they noticed a hatch door to the roof open with a backpack that fell to the ground soon after. With the area surrounded, the cops immediately detained the robber, who landed in the bin, only to discover the unpleasant surprise. Number 2. Marooned burglar. Despite having been caught for the crime before, this thief couldn't resist committing the same felony. A burglar was attempting to steal electric cables on the side of a building in South China's city of Shenzhen. After being spotted, his only way out through the balcony on the 4th floor was sealed, leaving him marooned on an air conditioner for 60 hours. Police and rescuers arrived, but it took them a while before they could apprehend the suspect, who was in a dilemma about his situation. Number 3. Baiting trap. With the rise in crime rate, 2 vloggers decided to trap and mess around with thieves for fun. They parked a moving truck in a residential area. The rear was kept open and loaded with several boxes inside that seemed to be valuable packages. The vloggers sealed them shut and took them for a ride. They drove dozens of miles, making the ride bumpy on purpose to give them a good suffering before finally letting them out and flee. Number 4. Produce thief nudged. Seeing a lemon tree full of produce, this thief thought of grabbing a bag full of them after trespassing on private property. The owner, who happened to spot him just in time, had the perfect solution, activating the current of the electric fence. The thief, who attempted to jump out from the fence, got a powerful nudge, which also caught him by surprise. In disbelief, the thief again made another attempt, only to be shocked once again. At this point, he was forced to abandon his loot on the other side of the fence and desperately ran away, looking for an alternate way out. Number 5. Underestimating robber. A robber, having his face covered, entered a gas station store, where the staff, instead of confronting him, had left the store. The robber mistook them to be scared of him, but their quick thinking was locking him in the store. As soon as the robber gathered his loot and was getting out, only to realize that he was trapped. From kicking to even using a fire extinguisher, he tried breaking his way out of an anti-break-in door, but was of no lock. The overconfident robber was easily thwarted and apprehended soon after. Number 6. Snatcher delivered to justice. A good Samaritan, instead of confronting a purse snatcher himself, physically decided to take him for a ride. Just as soon as he became comfortable with the scooter rider helping him get away, he was given a terrible surprise. Soon after pulling him from a hairy situation, the driver arrived at a police station to deposit him in the courtyard. The cops, who happened to be aware of the situation, quickly surrounded and caught the snatcher after being wanted for quite some time. Number 7. Sign thieves painted. Regardless if this attempted theft was for political reasons or monetary, it was met with a swift and budgeted response. During the election season, 2 neighborhood residents confronted a thief who attempted to remove and steal campaign signs. While one of them was recording, the other took out a paintball gun and opened fire on the thief to defend his turf. The perpetrator, who was caught in surprise, quickly turned around and fled the scene. Number 8. Semi-truck robbers. Surprised, 2 robbers got into a parked semi-truck trailer for a heist. Little did they know that they weren't the only ones plotting. Being busy unpacking to get their hands on loot, the truck suddenly started to move, where before they could get to the end of the trailer. The truck was moving on a highway at a speed of 60 miles per hour. The robber decided to wait it out until the truck halted, which it did in front of the police. Number 9. Burglar bait. Seeing a shiny white SUV, this burglar let his guard down and immediately paid the price for it. Another homeowner had his car parked in an open garage, with a camera facing in the direction of the entrance. An intruder, soon after spotting the vehicle, rushed towards it, thinking it to be an easy heist until he was slapped by an electric charge. Number 10. Package thief deterrence. This homeowner decided to use a scaring tactic to keep the thieves away. As soon as one of them appeared to grab the package themselves, they unknowingly set off a blank shotgun cartridge. The bang, being loud enough, instantly sent the thief running. This method turned out to be quite successful in keeping away numerous numbers of thieves with a much-deserved scare. Number 11. Porch pirate flash banged. With the rise of porch piracy, a resident of this private property was well prepared to confront one. As soon as the thief grabbed an Amazon package, he unknowingly stepped on a trigger wire, setting off a flash bang. Turns out the owner of the package is a former Marine who was looking forward to teaching a package thief a lesson the hard way. Number 12. Decoy car. This is perhaps one of the most poetic techniques ever to be used to catch robbers. After a spike in auto theft in Jersey, a task force specializing in stolen auto car busts was called in. They deployed a high-value decoy car in the middle of the street, known to be rich in criminal activity. With the engine running and no one inside, it wasn't long to get the attention of a hooded robber. Seeing it as a golden opportunity, he quickly slipped into the car and drove away. In a matter of seconds, the police officers sprung into action. The car was stopped and locked remotely, and the suspect was taken into custody. Number 13. Trapped, thief, humiliated. If there is any criminal who has been punished in the most humiliating manner, this has to be it. A truck with high-value merchandise was left with its back open and no one around to tend to it. A thief who was plagued with the idea of stealing blindly walked into the trap. Within seconds, he was locked inside the truck. A poster covering the truck removed, revealing him trapped in a cage as the truck started driving off and humiliating the thief all around the block. Number 14. Alcoholic burglar. The very combination of alcohol along with burglary is quite practically insane. This burglar would say otherwise. This burglar broke his way into a pub through the vent on the roof. Instead of going for the cash register or packing expensive booze to escape, he decided to drink a bottle and catch a breath. The burglar kept on drinking and helping himself with snacks. As he started to get drunk, escaping the pub became an impossible challenge, let alone standing on his feet. As a result, he started throwing around furniture, creating enough noise for the neighbors to call the police. Officers arrived on the scene and arrested the drunk burglar. Number 15. Bicycle thief instant takedown. With a high-value bike parked among dozens of bicycles on a busy road, this thief thought of having hit a jackpot. London police planted a high-end bicycle next to a typing pole to attract a serial bike thief after a severe rise in bicycle thefts. Undercover officers maintained a visual of the parked bike, where a potential thief appeared checking out the bike before looking around. To avoid the benefit of the doubt, the cops waited until the thief started cutting the lock and was instantly jumped by a squad of police officers wearing civilian fatigues. Number 16. Stupid thief. This thief entered a jewelry store in Chonburi, Thailand, pretending to be an interested customer. He had the storekeeper convinced to try out multiple gold chains, where the body language of this would-be thief made the owner suspicious of his intentions. Having worn a gold necklace worth £500, He spent a few moments pretending to admire it before he suddenly turned on his heels and sprinted towards the exit. Fortunately, the owner had the door locked, foiling the escape attempt. Number 17. Bait car robber. Of all the robbers that may have gotten lucky, this one started to celebrate a bit too early. The thief, after seeing what he thought to be an effortless thief, got into the car and started celebrating having gotten the unexpected prize. While he was busy celebrating, that became short-lived as he noticed a pursuing cop car taking a U-turn. Minutes later, when the thief was arrested, made the excuse of returning the car to the police by following Jesus.
I was just gonna take the car to the police station.
Number 18. Bicycle thief shaken off. Nope, this isn't another police bait bicycle. Nevertheless, it was a bait that was in play, a bicycle that was left behind on purpose, which this thief didn't think, even for once, and hopped onto it. Going down a hilly pavement, the perpetrator still couldn't see a powerful cable tied to the front wheel of the bicycle. Moving down the pavement at speed, the cable pulled the cycle with a powerful nudge after it was stretched to its limit by force that shook off the thief and gave him poetic justice. Number 19. Rejected attempt. An armed robber walked into a bank to try and rob the place, only to face pure bad luck. As soon as his intentions were read by the staff, they immediately triggered a lockdown switch, locking the counters instantly. The fear of getting caught, along with the sudden adrenaline rush, made the robber so desperate to escape the bank that he attempted to push open a one-way down. With the door only able to open inwards, the robber kept trying to push it open outwards and mistook the simple error on his part to be the aftermath of a sudden lockdown. Number 20. Forklift blockade. If there is anyone that thieves shouldn't try to rob, it's the machine operators. A carjacker attempted to steal a car thief in the Czech Republic, where he was immediately boxed in. As the perpetrator took a red car and was trying to flee, a forklift driver who saw the development immediately blocked the path. Before he could turn around and go the other way, two other operators drove their forklift to box him in. Number 21. Held by shutter. This brave Durham shopkeeper didn't panic or try fighting it out, but rather thoughtfully thwarted a knife-point robber. A robber entered a convenience store wearing a mask, appeared with a pack of lager, and instead of taking his wallet out to pay, drew a kitchen knife. He started threatening the shopkeeper, who calmly tackled the situation by sprinting outside the store, holding the door shut and activating the shutters from outside. The robber managed to force open the door and attempted to escape sliding under the shutter. He almost got out, but his head got caught up by the shutter. The desperation got him nowhere and was only let out by the police, who took him into custody. Number 22. Jumped into trap. If there is anyone who has tasted raw karma, it is this guy right here. After being robbed by the same burglar before, the business owner took measures to teach him a lesson. A thief who, after making his way in, immediately went to the hallway proceeding for the loot. However, as soon as he made his way to the hallway, little did he know, all of the doors were reinforced and electrically locked shut. The door that he used to get to the hallway also slammed shut as well, locking him in panic and desperation. After an hour of struggling, the police finally arrived and made the arrest. Number 23. Robber highlighted. A black hooded robber entered a store by the gas station. In moments, he drew out a large knife, along with his intentions to rob the place. The clerk, too, took out a machete and attempted to use the electric switch to lock the robber in. The armed robber then in panic started working on breaking the locked doors, where the clerk, after noticing his female accomplice and a getaway vehicle, shifted all his focus to messing up the car. While the clerk was busy damaging the car in hopes that the police would easily identify it, the robber took that moment to steal the cash before eventually fleeing in his damaged car and getting arrested soon after. Number 24. Truck Booby Trap. A man was tired after having nearly a dozen thieves broken into his truck in just 3 months. He decided to take the matter into his own hands and set up a booby trap. The would-be thief, who after appearing in a white sedan, broke into the truck seconds before a loud bang followed. The thief, who was attempting to make a quick grab for the valuables, was greeted by the unpleasant surprise of a flashbang, where he immediately fled in panic and shaken up. Number 25. Robber caught in lockdown. Seeing an elderly man behind the counter, this dumb brute thought he could easily intimidate and overpower him. He first enters the shop like any other ordinary customer shopping until he gets to the counter and makes a snatching attempt on a cigarette stall. Before confronting the robber, the shopkeeper quickly activates a single-button lockdown mode. As the thief realizes that he is boxed in, reacts in panic and desperation to escape. The elderly shopkeeper notifies the police, keeping the dumb brute busy until the cops arrive and take control of the situation. Number 26. Sign thief, instant karma. After intruding into private property, this sign thief was about to steal a Trump sign until he instantly paid the price. A homeowner in Orlando was tired of having trespassers coming to his property uninvited and stealing, so he set up a booby trap. So when this trespasser grabbed the sign, he got instantly zapped by a jolt of electricity. Number 27. Smart robber outsmarted. This wasn't some employee hiding and taking a nap on his shift, rather a napping thief waiting for closing hours. Target employees notified Arizona's Glendale police after spotting an unknown man hiding and sleeping in the back of a shelf high above in the storage room. Officers used a drone to take the first look at the situation and spot the intruder. The intruder, as a reaction, attempted to take down the drone multiple times, confirming the suspicion of his intentions. It was at this moment when a squad of officers arrived on the scene and in a matter of time took the unnamed man into custody. Number 29. Low IQ bank robber. Another robber attempted to rob a bank, and the only one who was caught by surprise and fear was himself. After making his way into the bank, he handed over a threatening piece of paper, declaring his intentions, to which the clerk reacted by immediately activating the security gates. The robber, in panic, attempted to rush his way out, but tried to open the door the wrong way, mistaking it to be sealed as well. Despite a couple of strong nudges that pointed out the direction, he still forced his way out. Number 30. Embarrassing fail. If there is anyone to blame for trapping this robber, it is the robber himself. A restaurant owner in Brazil, after returning to her place of business, discovered a young thief who was stuck in the restaurant's brick oven chimney for nearly half a day. Firefighters were then called in and had to demolish the oven and the chimney to get the robber out. After the robber was rescued, he was treated for minor injuries before being taken into police custody. Number 31. Confused bank robber. A lone wolf attempted to rob a bank where he made an appearance near the cashier counter. The clerks immediately triggered an alarm and fled the counters as the robber jumped onto their side before the security shutters closed to trap him in. Number 33. Poorly executed attempt. A robber decided to shoplift from a clothing store during the opening hours, but executed his attempt very poorly. With the store nearly empty with only the owner inside, this robber felt it would be a low-risk robbery. He got into the store quickly, grabbing the items to steal. That is when the owner stopped the suspicious behavior and quickly got out of the store and locked the robber inside. The panicked robber tried to use force to break open the door and then the window, but failed to do so. He then made his way to the back of the store to use the alternate exit, which also happened to be locked and bolted. Number 34. Self-trapped perpetrator. A small cell phone business store owner had her shop targeted by this robber who was overwhelmed by the security gate. He managed to break his way into the door before struggling to make his way through the security gate. With several attempted robberies, the store owner had taken away all the valuable items. The robber only realized it after he finally managed to get in from underneath, only to discover nothing much valuable to steal. He turned around in an attempt to leave but couldn't, despite trying to go from underneath with the alarm already triggered. Finally, the police arrived on the scene, and the suspect was then arrested. Number 35. Stuck at breaking in. This burglar was done in the worst way possible before he could ever get started. Surveillance cameras from downtown Boston caught a moment where a burglar attempted to rob a convenience store late in the night. From having no tools or know-how to make his way in, the thief ended up trapping himself between the entrance and the metal door. For a good 30 minutes, he struggled to break free but couldn't budge. Finally, cops arrived on the scene, where it took several officers to help the would-be burglar get out before being taken into custody. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos.